Hi guys, I'm your host Jodie Sim and thank you for tuning in to Better Planet Live. I have some amazing guests lined up for you and they're going to shed some light on how we can make our summer lifestyles a little bit more sustainable. As summer approaches, it's time for pub gardens and barbecues in the sun. And before we catch up with our experts, we're going to get an idea of what environmental sustainability really is. Environmental sustainability is essentially preserving the environment while still maintaining our social and economic well-being. But why is this our responsibility? The oceans, the soil, the air, all accounts and underpins our very well-being. We're in a climate crisis, and while the extra heat might feel great for our tans, the environment is experiencing devastating losses across the world. But there is still so much hope and positivity. So, to get started, we want you, the viewers, to send in your sustainability confessions. It's hard not to feel the weight of the climate crisis, and rest assured we all struggle to live sustainably 24/7. So, we want to hear what it is that you struggle with when it comes to sustainability. For example, I'm an environmentalist, but I love to go on holidays abroad. So scan the QR code, send in your confessions, and we'll come back to these at the end of the show to discuss. Now, I am so excited to introduce our very first guest, local expert in sustainable activities, Hattie Doyle. Hattie is going to talk to us about how we can be mindful of our local environment while still making a splash. So Hattie, I'm really looking forward to speaking to you. I think we've got a really cool video coming up. I'm excited. There's a little bit of a surprise at the end as well. I'll catch you soon.
Thank you, Jodie. And today you join me on Avon's River Nature Trail. So behind me you can see the River Avon and maybe some ducks potentially. New studies have suggested that spending just 2 hours a week outdoors in nature can improve your well-being, your mental health and your connection to nature. Nature trails are more than just pathways through the wilderness. They're really important to making sure that human traffic stays off the vegetation and in one path. What about, but I can get in this, oh, see, it's tricky. Ugh. When we're walking on these nature trails, it's really important that we act along the leave no trace principles, which includes things like taking all your rubbish with you, picking up any rubbish that you might see along, and just generally leaving the place in a better state than you found it. So choosing to spend your days on beautiful nature trails like this one can improve your connection to the local environment, which has been shown to have really positive effects on local environmental movements. You might choose to get involved in a river cleanup, for example. You might choose to do some education around wildlife that you might see in this area. All of this can boost local conservation efforts. Given the fact that 80% of children can't accurately identify a bumblebee, taking them to spaces like this can help connect the youth with the environment. I'm on my way to one of Bristol's best loved open water swimming spots to dive headfirst into the ever-growing trend of wild swimming. So as we can see, I'm now in the wild swimming spot. Wild swimming is known to have lots of amazing health benefits as well as connecting us with the environment. But it's important that we do this mindfully to protect the beautiful environment that we can see behind us. The first way you can do this is by making sure you're not putting any harsh chemicals on your skin. Things like sun cream, although it's important to protect yourself from the beautiful sun that we see above us, it's also important that we protect ourselves and the environment. And you can do this by going online and making sure that your sun cream that you're using is water safe. Another thing that's also really important is making sure that we're taking care of our hedgeways and our waterways. So making sure that you're not disturbing any local wildlife, keeping these open water swimming spots the beautiful preserves that they are. I don't know about you guys, but I am ready to get in. That's all from me for now. I'm going to take a quick dip and I'll catch you back in the studio. Time's coming.
We're back in the studio now with Hattie Doyle. Hattie, my love.
Hello.
Was that your first time while swimming?
Believe it or not, that was not my first time swimming.
Are you professional? You do it a
I
lot?
could be now. After that, I felt it, yeah. No one else came in with me, so...
Yeah, how did that discussion go down?
There was no discussion. It was, you're getting in, and I'm not. And that's how it went. And I went in.
We've got good friends over here. How can people get involved in their local area? Because if it was me, I wouldn't really know where to start. Not that I want to get involved, but I'm not going to jump into the Thames. Like, where am I joining other people?
Yeah, I would not recommend jumping into the Thames, okay? Wouldn't do that.
My bad.
But you can get involved in a local open water swimming group. So the university has one. It's really good fun. And kind of, yeah, the best part about it is that you get to go with your friends.
Yeah.
So kind of getting a gang together, taking a barbecue, making a day of it.
Yeah. You got to go with your friends. They just
didn't jump in.
They were just
next time I will be dragging them.
worst friends. Yeah. Okay. So why do you think that an activity like wild swimming is maybe better than, I don't know, going to the cinema or going shopping with your friends? Those kind of they're still social. But
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
They're just quite simply less carbon intensive. So obviously, like shopping is quite a carbon heavy activity. Buying produce and all that kind of thing. And equally, things like the connection to nature that you can get from spending time in the outdoors can really encourage people to take care of their local environment, which I think is also really important.
So Hattie is a very brave, outdoorsy girl. We might not all be the same. So for other people, what would you suggest? Maybe still, as we're still talking sustainable activities, but maybe like a different option. What would you suggest?
I'd say if you're looking for connection to nature, just getting outside, walking isn't super, carbon intensive. Obviously, there's actually no emissions associated with that one. If you're kind of looking for something a bit more active, something like paddle, even like we've played a bit of paddle.
We've played a bit of paddle.
Just getting outdoors and getting to know your local area, really.
Yeah, amazing. Well, Hattie, thank you so much. I look forward to speaking to you again in a second. We are now going to speak to local sustainable fashion expert Sophia Giacconi about how you can make your summer wardrobe more eco-friendly. Sophia has a lineup of looks ready for us, so see how many you can count.
Thank you, Jodie. Sorry about the noise. We are in the shopping centre, Cabot Circus in Bristol, and we're going to be talking about sustainable fashion. So sustainable fashion is becoming more and more popular both among the younger and the older community, but what does it actually mean? It's a term used to describe clothes and garments that are produced in a way which doesn't affect the environment, and it can be sustained over time without depleting resources. So in the case of clothes, we're talking about natural resources such as cotton and linen, but also animal-based resources such as wool, leather or silk. Due to the enormous increase in demand for fast fashion and the continuous want to change our wardrobe, we're quickly depleting these resources and harming the environment. The clothing industry generates 10 tons of textile waste per second, which is responsible for a fifth of the world's ocean pollution. It is one of the biggest pollutants in the world at the moment, accounting for 10% of their annual global emissions. Not to mention the extreme pressure that workers are put under and the cruelties that animals suffer in some of the production processes. So alternatives such as hemp, bamboo, soybean, and even algae are now being used to develop new fabrics which are more environmentally conscious and eco-friendly. But what if we can't access these materials because our local shops might not sell them? There's different ways of being more sustainably conscious with our shopping. Firstly, we have to change our mindset of wanting to constantly change our wardrobe, but it's not easy because we're constantly bombarded with people online changing their outfits. I mean, look at me. I've already changed 4 times. This is a 5-minute video. And let's face it, the way you dress is an expression of who you are and how you want to be perceived. So why not go along with it and change your style accordingly? You can even go a step further and make your own clothes. Although this might not be for everyone, it is a good way of understanding the value of clothes, which you might not have when buying clothes from a shop, which might take a few seconds. So I've been faced with this conflict myself, and I decided to go down a more sustainable route. So first of all, you can shop at secondhand shops such as Depop and eBay, where you can find unique and interesting pieces. A final habit to implement in your life to become more sustainable and eco-friendly is this rule. For every 2 or 3 pieces that you put in your closet, you take the same amount out of your closet by donating them to charities or selling them or giving them to someone who might actually use them or like them more. So by implementing these simple rules in your life, you'll become more sustainable and eco-friendly, and your closet can do that too. Back to you in the studio, Jodie.
Going live with Sophia now, who's chatting to documentary filmmaker and sustainable fashion enthusiast Ellie Mackay to get a rundown on her eco-friendly look. Not sure if we have Ellie. Do we have Ellie in the studio yet? For the meantime, if you spotted, Sophia was wearing some gorgeous Dolce & Gabbana jeans in that. They were thrifted, stunning, gorge. Do we have Sophia yet? Are we good with Sophia?
Hi,
Sophia, can you?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Were they all of those looks? Are they sustainably sourced?
Absolutely, they were all second-hand charity shop clothes. It was so much fun putting that video together. Honestly, it was really a lot of fun.
Well, you looked amazing. I think you've got Ellie Mackay with you there.
Yes, I have. I'm joined by Ellie Mackay, science communicator and sustainable fashion expert, and I'm just going to be talking a bit about sustainable fashion. So first of all, can you talk me through your outfit?
So I am wearing a completely 100% carbon neutral outfit made from a load of different brands. So my shirt is made from an eco linen, which is made using no natural irrigated water, so it's only from rainwater, natural dyes. I've got a bamboo vest on, which is really good for sportswear or comfy wear because it's really thermally neutral, really warm and cool, really comfortable. My trousers, I don't know if you can see them, are made from eucalyptus and algae, which is a really cool new technology. And even my shoes are made from recycled glass beads and cork, which is a really sustainable and durable material as well.
That is amazing. It's insane. I wanted to ask, what do you look out for, like when you go shopping? What do you look out in clothes?
Yeah, so the first thing I'm going to look at is the material. I always choose natural materials, but that's not normally just enough. So cotton can be really unsustainable. Organic, certified cotton, linen, bamboos to make sure it's non-toxic. I'm not going to sweat in it. It's not going to have toxic chemicals on my skin. I'm then also going to look at where it's made or manufactured. And I'm also going to go online and research the website and find out if the company has ethical, sustainable practices. They pay their workers a fair wage, they treat people well, their supply chain is all eco-friendly and human-friendly as well, because climate change and poverty are very much interlinked. So we've got to take care of our fashion workers.
Yeah, of course. And I've got one last question. What advice, it kind of links to what you've already said, but what advice would you give to our viewers to become more sustainable with their shopping?
Fall in love with thrifting, with sustainable shopping. You need to do some research, do some Googling to find out those brands. But it's about falling in love. We have books and DVDs that we keep because we love them, but we throw our clothes away. We need to have an emotional, sentimental response to our clothes, which we love, and they'll keep us going for many, many years.
I agree. Thank you so much. And Jodie, I'll give it back to you in the studio.
Thank you for that, Sophia and Ellie. So, when you guys are packing your bags for holiday this summer, think about where your outfits came from. Speaking of holidays, we are going to be joining Kayla on her weekend in Cornwall to learn how to travel greener this summer. Kayla's trip, I believe, was a camping one. Not for everyone, definitely not for me. But we're all excited, and Kayla, excited to see.
Thanks for that, Jodie. This weekend, I traveled to the beautiful coast of Cornwall to visit the Eden Project, a global garden that educates and inspires visitors about the importance of biodiversity, sustainability, and conservation. The goal of the Eden Project is to remind us that we need to respect the natural world and demonstrates that we are a part of nature, not apart from it. Its biomes are designed to mimic natural ecosystems and highlight how interconnected our world is. Inside the two biomes, I got a taste of the tropical rainforest and Mediterranean climates. I was surrounded by thousands of trees, flowers, birds, and even reptiles that play a crucial role in our global ecosystem. The Eden Project not only recreates these environments, but also promotes conservation efforts and sustainable living. It's safe to say that I left the Eden Project feeling very inspired. After a day at the Eden Project, I continued my sustainable travel journey by camping in Cornwall. Camping is a great way to connect with nature, and when done sustainably, it has a minimal environmental impact. Here at the campsite, it's encouraged for guests to practice leave no trace principles and minimize waste to preserve the natural beauty of Cornwall. Leave no trace is an ethical principle embraced by the outdoor community, emphasizing sustainability, longevity, and the conservation of natural areas. It underscores the responsibility of every individual who explores the outdoors to be accountable for their actions. The 7 Leave No Trace principles are as follows. Number 1. Plan ahead and prepare. Proper preparation reduces stress and environmental impact, helping avoid poor decisions that could harm nature. Number 2. Travel and camp on durable surfaces. It's important to stick to designated trails and durable surfaces to minimize erosion and preserve natural areas. Number 3. Dispose of waste properly. Always carry out all trash and waste, ensuring you leave no litter behind. Number 4. Leave what you find. Preserve the environment by leaving natural objects and features undisturbed. Number 5. Minimize campfire impacts. Use camp stoves instead of campfires to prevent damage and maintain the natural landscape. Number 6. Respect wildlife. Observe wildlife from a distance without disturbing or feeding them to protect their habitats. And lastly, number 7. Be considerate of other visitors. Respect the experience of others by minimizing noise and sharing spaces thoughtfully. Traveling sustainably allows us to enjoy nature while protecting it for future generations, whether visiting inspiring places like the Eden Project or camping under the stars. Each eco-friendly choice we make contributes to a better planet.
Hope this gave you some inspiration for your next sustainable holiday. Back to you in the studio.
And now I'm joined by Kayla in the studio. Kayla, you had a bit of trouble with the tent there.
Yeah, that happens when you're camping.
I would not know. So, can you kind of like give us an idea of what the current state of tourism is like in the UK?
So tourism is at an all-time high, but something that's kind of new in the most recent years is that polls have found that 71% of UK travelers say that sustainable travel practices are essential to their travel plan making. And 23% of UK travelers choose to travel to a destination closer to home for the sake of sustainability.
That's amazing. Give me one or two favourite camping hotspots.
Obviously, the beautiful coast of Cornwall is way up there. It's just a lovely, lovely trip. And Colorado is beautiful, Rocky Mountains.
Don't know how Colorado and Cornwall are comparing, but here we are. So, just a reminder to scan the QR code and send in your sustainability confessions. We'll revisit these at the end of the show. Remember, we all struggle to live sustainably all the time, so this is a guilt-free space. Okay, now it is time to pass over to our gorgeous chef, Izzy, who's making some summer pizzas using local produce.
Hey guys, welcome to my sustainable kitchen. Today we're going to be making a sustainable vegetarian pizza. But first of all, the key ingredient to any sustainable meal is, of course, a glass of sustainable wine. So this is Tread Softly, a rosé from Australia. It is vegan and it is sustainably grown. So first of all, we're going to start with the tomato sauce for our pizza. So we've got Isle of Wight tomatoes from the local greengrocers. This is reducing air miles, so better for the environment. And we're going to chop them up and then we're going to blend them for our pizza sauce. After blending the tomatoes, we're going to chop up some garlic and heat that on medium for about 30 minutes to make our tomato sauce. So I've been cooking for quite a few years now, been vegetarian for about 15 years, but that doesn't mean it has to be hard to cook sustainably. Sometimes it's literally just as simple as swapping out like meat for a vegetarian meal every now and then, and as we have to do here today, shopping locally, reducing how far your food has had to travel from farm to plate. A lot of meat production uses a lot of water, produces a lot of carbon dioxide, which contributes to climate change. So meats such as beef especially are really bad with massive water consumption. There's also a lot of antibiotics used in the production of like cattle meats. So by switching to vegetable-based products where you can, you're negating these carbon emissions. So we've got our tomatoes blended, our garlic chopped, and then going to get some basil that I've grown in my garden, and we're going to simmer that over the hob. So growing your own herbs at home is a great way to avoid all the packaging. A lot of them come in the supermarkets. So we're just picking some basil now for the tomato sauce. Okay, so next we're going to get on to making the caramelised red onion, which is going to go on top of our pizza base. So we're going to first of all chop, I'd say about 2 red onions. This is to make 2 pizzas worth. In this recipe we're going to use butter instead of sunflower oil to simmer the onions, because a lot of seed oils like sunflower oil are ultra processed, made on an industrial scale using lots of chemicals which are really bad for the environment. So we're just going to put our veg in there, and then hopefully the worms will do their job and turn it into soil and compost for our garden. So next ingredient to prepare is our asparagus. This is from Kent, so not far away at all. And what we're going to do is we're going to chop the ends off, and then we're going to parboil it for about 2 minutes just to take away the hardness. Then we're going to slice them and put them on our pizza. So now obviously we need our pizza dough. Luckily for me, Brendan, my sous chef, has pre-made this with Cotswold flour, another locally sourced ingredient. So we're going to go get this dough from Brendan. He's a bit slow. Thank you, Brendan. Very nice. We'll save you a bit of pizza at the end. Off we go. So first of all, we're going to dust our surface for rolling out our dough. We've got our Cotswold flour again, locally produced and organic. We're just going to pour this on our chopping board and hope that the wind doesn't blow it all away. Right, here's our first piece of dough. We're going to roll this out to fit a baking tray or pizza tray we've got one at home for about this size. Another benefit of home cooking means you can buy exactly what you need. You're not overbuying, you're not wasting. Whereas with a lot of pre-packaged food like pizzas, pastas, whatever you want from a ready meal, you might not eat it all, so a lot of it might be waste. So as you can see, we've made a bit of a mess here. That's okay. Mess is creativity. Creativity is mess. So what we're going to do, I forgot to say this earlier, we're actually going to preheat the oven. So your oven will be preheated to the maximum temperature it can go to. We want it to be boiling. We want it to be really scorching hot. We want it to be as hot as the climate will be if we don't stop the climate crisis. So in the meantime, we're just going to relax and wait for our oven to heat up.
I'm the sous chef. I mean, I've been stirring the onions and they look great.
Right, so our pizza doughs are all rolled out and we've got our tomato sauce, our asparagus that we parboiled for 2 minutes and our caramelised onions, so now we're just going to assemble. So just going to take a bit of a blob on there. Doesn't really matter exact measurement, doesn't really matter how much, just give it, like, smush it out, nice even base. The cheese was actually from Co-op, interestingly, but they've got a campaign at the moment supporting local farmers, so it's from an English farm, which is really nice. And once again, reducing the air miles. Right, we're next going to go in with our vegetables, I reckon, first. Just kind of scatter them around however you want. Also, obviously you can use whatever vegetables you want. As we were saying earlier, just like look out for like seasonal veg or like locally grown veg where you can. Right, next we're going to put our caramelised onions on. Right, and finally we're going to get our goat cheese, which I think I'm just going to tear up and put on. So just kind of spread that evenly. You actually don't need as much cheese as you think, because it normally kind of melts around and just goes everywhere. This is optional, but there's actually a local restaurant in Bristol called Bertha's, a pizza restaurant, and they sell their hot honey, which is also made locally. So I'm just going to drizzle a tiny bit of this on top as well. We've also salt and peppered them as well. And ready for the oven. Right, here we go, we've got our pizza out of the oven, there's one still cooking. But there you go, there's a vegetarian, reasonably sustainable pizza, which was pretty easy to make. Back to the studio.
That pizza looked incredible. Stay tuned to Better Planet Live because we have the Wild Kitchen coming up for even more cooking. Izzy, my gorgeous chef, how are you? How was the pizza?
I'm good, thank you, it was lovely. I mean, you did get a little try, so
yeah,
I hope you enjoyed
it. It was absolutely delicious. And the honey was incredible. What I wanted to focus on for a quick second is the wine. Can we talk a little bit more about it?
So this is Tread Softly. It's an Australian rosé. It's vegan and they're great to sustainably grown, which is obviously great for the environment. They also, for every 6 bottles bought, they plant 1 native tree. So definitely, if you're planning on having a couple drinks, a good option to look into.
A couple?
A few.
Oh, 6
as many as you want.
So Izzy, you mentioned in the video that you're vegetarian. I suppose, how long has that been for, and what were your initial reasonings for doing that?
So when I was 10, I was in school, and you know when they're kind of showing you about factory farming and all the not so very nice things. We were shown a video of factory farming with chickens, and I immediately, as a child, was like, that's horrible, very impressionable, decided to become vegetarian. And as I've grown up, I've kind of realised like the climate benefits of becoming vegetarian. So it's just kind of kept me going. Yeah. And I love it, and it's nice being creative and trying to see what you can do with vegetables.
Yeah. So there's a bit of a misconception that, well, there might not be, the vegetarian ingredients tend to be more expensive. What would you say about that?
I mean, I think when you're buying like meat substitutes, that can definitely get quite expensive. But if you're kind of cooking from scratch, like making a very vegetable-based meal, it doesn't have to be expensive at all. So yeah, I think the more you can do from scratch, the cheaper it's going to be. And obviously, meat's quite expensive at the moment. So
have you tried veggie bacon?
I haven't tried veggie bacon. I've heard very mixed things, though, and it looks a bit suspicious. But I'm not hating on it.
It made my tongue blue. But I'm not hating on it. Let's be sustainable. Top meal? Can you tell me?
Oh, I love a veggie lasagna because, not to plug, you know, climate friendly meals, but you can use up all the scraps, and it's a great crowd pleaser. Who doesn't love lasagna?
Not me.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, it is finally time to go through our sustainability confessions. we asked you to submit any lifestyle habits you do that aren't always the most sustainable. And I believe we may have a few coming up now. Just give me 1 second to organise them. Thank you so much. And I am joined by Miss Gorgeous, Hattie Doyle, who is going to help me. So
Having you that. Thank you.
You're very, very welcome. So we're going to go through a few of these together.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
We've got some great answers. I was having a bit of a read off camera. Shall I read the first one?
Yeah, go
Okay,
ahead.
so I think it's so much easier in warm water. I mean, it is really, isn't it? It's just much more of an enjoyable experience.
In warm water?
Yeah.
I would not know.
You're not a fan of surfing?
I want to surf, but I don't surf yet.
Yeah.
Warm water, it sounds...
Always better than... Actually, not maybe in my instance. I like the cold water in the wild swimming.
Okay, so we have, I like to drink from straws, but not everywhere has paper straws. Yeah, I do love to drink from straws, and I do think that's more of a problem with, I mean, the place that you're going to. It's it's also kind of hard if you go to a pub and they've got plastic straws there. You kind of can't be like, why are you doing this?
And paper straws do disintegrate.
They disintegrate.
Sometimes it's annoying.
They disintegrate immediately.
Yeah. This one says, I'm a sucker for online shopping.
Sounds like Izzy.
It does sound, but you could change that to Vinted, for example. That's online shopping and that's all secondhand. So.
And I think with Vinted, what's good about that is that you can kind of see the looks on a real person. When you're looking online, like those things that we're seeing, it's not real person.
They are models.
They are. Yeah, no, they are. So yeah. What about? I would love to be vegan, but bacon and cheese are too good. What do you think?
They're pretty good, right? I have no further comments.
And I might be flying to India over the summer.
Oh, I wonder who said that.
I wonder who said that.
You better be offsetting your carbon footprint. That's all I'm saying.
And there is a way that you can do that.
Yeah.
Online. Think you can pay extra money, which, again, with a lot of these confessions, sometimes it is hard to be sustainable and to keep, your costs down. It's not always accessible to be sustainable. So yeah, I mean, we do understand. I think that's the point of it. Do we want to say one more, Hattie? Do you want to read out one more?
Absolutely. This one says, I opt for using my car rather than public transport for my legs.
You've got bad legs at the minute.
I do have a bad ankle, yeah.
Yeah.
And I still walk, so, get out there, guys.
so true. Okay. So,
I just want to say thank you so much for having me. I feel like I've really been letting on all of your secrets, so thank you so much for having me, guys. I think that is all from me, is it? That is, all from me.
Okay, so the point is to remember that we don't have to be perfect all of the time. Everybody makes mistakes, but for the sake of our environment, every little helps. Today, our experts have taught us how to make more sustainable lifestyle choices, from activities to adventures and food to fashion. Thank you so much for tuning in to Better Planet Live. I hope you all feel a lot more well-equipped to go and live your best sustainable girl summer. Don't forget to stay tuned to Better Planet Live, as we've got a brilliant segment coming up called The Wild Kitchen. Thank you to Hattie, Kayla, Sophia and Izzy, and goodbye from me and everyone in the studio. And remember, folks, there's no rest for the wicked.